Ladies and gentlemen, we're back, but it's so over. We crash out of Europe here on the Strompcast. We're sullen. It's just the two of us today. I'm joined by the main man, Chris. Chris, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right, man. It's obviously back-to-back tough results. Today, I mean, let's be honest. At least for me, I didn't really, expect a miracle comeback. Obviously, it was in the realm of possibility. You grab an early goal,
You get a fluky
you're
one all of a
pushing.
sudden.
You feel the momentum.
Yeah,
That was not the case today.
yeah.
It was lifeless, and it was very clear quickly that it was
They just
not.
didn't.
Nah, it was not going to happen.
There was no fight left in this
And
dog.
it's just like, all right, got two competitions still to play for, and I guess it's time to focus on those. But it doesn't get easier. It doesn't get easier to
No,
turn the tide.
no. Considering their recent run of form in the league, their last couple of results makes things a little more anxious than you would like, which we'll get into. Make sure you follow us below, all things Alvalade at AT Alvalade. Follow Chris as well. You can follow me next. We're on X right now. That might be changing. Who knows?
X
With just the
baby,
state of the world
just
right
Sam and
now.
Danny as
Follow
well.
Sam and Danny. They couldn't be here. Just busy with work and life. Things happen. But we will get into the games. Let me pull up my goal points here. Goal point is gospel in these here
We go
parts.
with the more recent one, I guess, right?
Yeah, we'll
This
start with the
afternoon's
Dortmund game. We'll start with the Dortmund game. That's fresh in everybody's mind. So Sporting went with the lineup as follows: Rui Silva in goal, Gonçalo Inácio, Usman Diomande, and Eduardo Quaresma as the defenders. Mateus Reis, Ricardo Gallo, I guess, as the fullbacks. We kind of went back to the three back
Yeah,
system.
I'm crazy, dude.
With João Simões and Martin Humeland as the midfielders, new boy Biel and Kenda up front, and Conrad Harder as the main striker. No Trincão this game, which I think, thank God, he needed the rest. Substitutes of Zito de Bast, Brito, Maxi Arujo, Moreira, and Lucas Anjos. So, yeah, very heavily rotated team from the first
They were
leg.
out there. I was actually looking at. I was like, "What did BL's rating? 5.2." Yeah, he was out there for sure.
Yeah.
He was on the field.
Yeah, I mean, Quaresma had an awesome game. If they
He
had
did, and so did our keeper, Rui
Jordi
Silva.
Silva with a huge to give us a glimmer of hope on a wicked penalty save. Good
Couple
on him.
nice saves.
Yeah, he played well considering the frango he had the game before.
I actually think he's a bit unlucky. I think he's a bit unlucky to have the pen called, but
Yeah.
I see how they were unable to overturn the ruling on the field.
Yeah. So, Chris, well, I didn't get to watch really much of this game. I'm going to lean on you a bit for this one at least. What did you make of the game? Like, what stood out to you? There's not much to really
What
talk
stood
about.
out to me, which was just like the obvious surrender, before it even started. You people were saying, you could argue like, oh, there's some more BT team players than usual in the team, right? So it's like they're looking to just kind of see out the result and just come back unscathed. And
Just get
if that was the objective, that was not accomplished.
No, that was not the case.
So they did not return unscathed. They actually picked up a couple more injuries and just probably lowered morale even lower than it already was. It's pretty fortunate to not lose the game if we're being real. I think you get like a couple $100,000 for a tie in UEFA, so the boys locked in an extra like $400K.
The boys just paid someone. They just paid someone's salary for the year.
Nice.
Congrats,
lads. Take it. I saw Benfica's winnings this campaign are at like 72 million and counting. So good for them. Good for them.
Big money.
It's big money. We talked about a little bit on the last pod. Like this is it feels like a little bit of a European season of what could have been.
What if?
Will be interesting to see how this Dortmund team moves along in the competition, but I will we'll definitely be keeping an eye on them. Back to the game, like first 20 minutes, like it was one-way traffic. I would say like it was also clear Dortmund was not really in great urgency to do anything really either, because they had a 3-goal lead. They were content to keep the ball, mostly in Sporting's end. They weren't carving out clear-cut chances, and through like 30 minutes, I don't think either team really had a chance, or even like it was like, oh, it's bouncing around in the box. They could get a shot, but like they didn't. That was the best Dortmund had, but it was really more than anything that we had, which was like even reaching their 18.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it was just like, okay, can we get to half? Can we get to half? Give me a half. Got to half. And it was like, okay, maybe, we can make some offensive subs and at least like try to turn the tide of the game a little bit, maybe go for it a little bit more. Also, what was about the 3 at the back, it was mostly a 5 at the back because it was just defending a lot more than it was attacking. So it was a defensive formation, which was, I mean, it wasn't what we needed. It wasn't the strategy that was required. Went for a little bit more in the second half, which did open us up more, for sure. And they had a couple through ball opportunities, breaks. Also, Inacio was like kind of banged up. There's like something in the back of your brain when you're losing 3-0. You can only run like 86% as fast as like you could.
Yeah.
Like if it's like a tie game, 70th minute, like you like gain an extra gear and your adrenaline, you're going 110%. But like when you're losing and it sucks and there's a low energy,
I don't want to be
you can
here.
literally only like your brain like doesn't allow you to reach like peak performance. So there's a little bit of that going on. They're getting through. That's actually how the Pens caused a situation like that, where they like get a big breakthrough. And Roy Silva comes out, kind of clips the dude, more so just doesn't get the ball, and the dude just kind of like bumbles over him more than anything as he takes his touch past him. Kind of soft, tough to reverse. Again, if he doesn't call it, the replay, he might actually get away with it because the replay isn't actually that particularly damning. It's just tough to reverse the decision, and he makes a big save.
Yeah.
He gets down low to his right, gets a great jump.
Onto it too.
Held onto it. It wasn't a bad pen to be. I've seen a lot worse pens go in.
It's got some pace behind it.
He gets down low right to the post. It's a great save, and he kept us at 0-0. And I was like, wow, like, I mean, anytime anyone could maybe do something, we could start to like at least think about something. But once like the 75th minute had passed and we really still had not generated a chance,
we were just going through.
I was just like, it's over. I mean, I kind of knew that it was over for a while before that, but like
you felt at the end of the first. If you didn't, I don't think you could have said like, oh, it's over before it started. But I think by the end of the first half, no, you're like, yeah, there's no way they're doing this. Like, had they maybe, like you said, gotten one early or even one like late in the first half, like a scrappy goal,
anything,
you might be like, okay, like they've got
for that to even happen, you need to be putting balls in the box. You need to be getting forward. Gaio had like one cross that wasn't completed. Mateus shanked the cross out of bounds.
You pointed in the group chat, you're like, that cross, there was a cross that was so shocking, even the ref was in disbelief. Like, I'm like, man, that's bad.
Yeah, that was the Mateus Reyes cross.
Checks out.
Just nothing, bro. And then finally in the 85th minute, Harder like dribbles a header into the keeper's arms, and that's like our biggest chance
of the game, really.
Chance, if you even want to call it that.
Yeah, I don't have much to add to this. Like, if they even get like one late in the first, you're like, well, you got 45 minutes to get two. Like, it's not unheard of. You got one, maybe, there's some hope. Obviously, it would have been like, okay, they've got some signs of fight in them, but yeah, this was just not meant to be.
I feel like Harder kind of struggles in situations like this. But it's difficult. It's difficult, right?
It's not like you're just from the outset you're going to be chasing.
And like this is a system that worked a lot better when you have Prime Gyökeres as the guy the furthest man forward, because you could ping it up to him and he can actually just take it on his chest. He can
and just
fend
make
off
something
any
happen.
defender.
And make something happen.
He can allow for build-up play. He can turn his defender and just like take 6 guys on. He can turn his defender, take 2 guys on, lay it off. Like it really it helped a lot having that in the team. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And even when he is out there recently, you know, it's not the same Gyökeres right now. It's you know, slightly injured, banged up, tired as fuck Gyökeres.
I'm glad at least a couple guys got to rest this game.
Yeah.
I'm glad Cal got got basically a week off almost. I'm glad that Gyökeres got to be off this game. Who else wasn't in this game that would have typically been in there?
I mean, I guess is St. Juice. He's hurt now. I guess, right?
St. Juice is hurt, yeah, but Aganta's hurt, which we'll get into in the next game. We won't.
Arouca got a half off.
Max Arouca got 1 half off.
Humlin got a half off. I guess I don't know if
Humlin might have picked up a little knock. Joel Simoes looks like he picked up a knock.
Yeah, Nasiu is maybe a little hurt too.
This team is just falling up. This team is being held together by duct tape and hope.
Kenda showed signs of life at times when there was little else going on. He was probably our best offensive player. I would say that doesn't really say much today, though.
No, like we said, it's such a different game because you know from the outset you're chasing the game from the minute the whistle blows.
What do you think of? I guess he got like a 15-minute cameo at the weekend and like 60 minutes today, a lot more, 70 minutes today, BL.
I don't have any real strong feelings. That's kind of a non-answer.
Yeah.
He just seems like
he could have been a hero at the weekend if he directed his volley on target in like
if he directed his volley on target, he's the new Artura, whatever the guy's name was. He's the new Artura. That's our guy. That would have been our guy for like the next month. He just seems
I don't even know what position he prefers to play. Yeah. What if he prefers to play like on the wing, up top, in like a 4-4-2 and a 4-3-3. I don't really know what his best position is. As like a 10, we might need more midfield depth at this point now, you know. So maybe we'll see him.
I might.
I have no fucking clue.
I might just sit there and say, take the hit and just eat shit and recall Dario.
Because let's in the worst case scenario, what does it look like at the weekend? Humland out, Simoes out, Bragança out,
Morita out.
Yeah, so I guess it's.
Who do you go with? Who do you roll with? DeBoss?
Maybe DeBoss and BL, maybe.
Fuck me. That team's getting cooked.
AVS.
AVS football sod, whatever the fuck they are. Go down and go join
AVS football sod, yeah.
But yeah, like what do you do?
And it's like at this point, it's like you've given up mulligans in multiple weeks in a row now. Like you
can't afford to drop.
You have to find a way to win these fucking games.
Yeah, like that's the thing. If you don't drop points in consecutive weeks,
you will not be in first at the end of this week.
This week, maybe. Yeah, not even this month. This week.
Yeah.
I have no man of the match for. Actually, no. I'll give it to Luis Solo for giving us the rare penalty save.
He had like 1.8 goals, saved. You know.
Yeah.
The PK is like 0.7, I think. So that obviously boosts the stats, but still had a handful. At least 3 other big nice saves.
Yeah. It just sucks. We're out of Europe. We're.
It is honestly refreshing that we have a goallie, though.
We got a guy who can.
I would say that the St. Juice incident it's not a great look for him. I'll be honest, but
he's not like
it's awful on St. Juice as well, who's also possibly even does that shit because he's hurt and he doesn't trust himself. And I mean, we'll get into it now, I guess. But
Yeah, I bet
dude,
you
he
share my
saved our
screen.
ass like 5 other times in the fucking game. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe he looks bad in the photo, and technically the uncle goes on him because he touched
But
it.
it's like
But
the
dude, I
lead up
mean,
to
in
the
the end,
whole build up to that is
this
not
game was
his
out of
fault.
control, and
Yeah.
there's no other keeper that we've had.
Yeah, like the fact that he gets credit for the own goal but still put up a 6-4 tells you something.
Yeah.
Lineup were as follows: Rui Silva in goal, Saint Just, Gonzalo Inacio, Maxi Arujo, Ivan Fresneda as these. Oh yeah, Fresneda got arrested on the Champions League day. I just realized. Trincao, Hulman, Bragança, Simões, Kenda, and Jokeres. Substitutes of the Bast, Conrad Harder, Biel, and Brito. Jokeres with an assist, Harder with a goal. Who else got her? And Trincao with a goal as well. I'll start with this one. This was just, man. This was the game. If there was any game that showed like
you
this
don't
team
see
was
a lot of
tired.
Portuguese league games like this, honestly. At least in the big three against the smaller teams. So if you're neutral watching this game, you caught a good one.
This is great. You got a good game. Yeah, you got a great game. Yeah, I think if any game epitomized where this team is at right now, this is the game. Like that, they were tired, and it really showed. It really showed this game just how much everything's kind of caught up to them. It really showed just how much the injuries to key players at the worst time has been detrimental in so many ways to them. It stinks. We get a late one to save us. Like, credit to us, but like, man, this was not a fun game. 2 guys go out injured, Bragança and St. Just both out. It's confirmed with Bragança anyways. Torn ACL, and it's not the same ACL he did the last time. I don't know if that's better or worse. We were discussing before the show, Chris, how that would be. But like tearing both your ACLs he's only 25. That's a horrible break. And I feel really bad for him, but like he might be cooked.
Yeah,
like, he's done. He might be done.
I'm hoping he can return to be at best a squad player in the second half of the season next year.
He better start investing in an iPad, buddy. He better start learning some tactics. Dude.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think, and it sucks because he was having, especially, I think, such a good season.
It was a good season. It was a tough run for everyone recently, but he was having a good season, I would say.
Yeah, I feel like he was having such a good bounce back season after he kind of had some critics, even us, like we were kind of critical of him. So to see him kind of proving us,
he's not a 10 is the problem sometimes.
No, you're bang on. But yeah, like, he was proving us wrong because like we'd come out and been critical of him. So to see him having such a good steady season, it's just like, man, like that's a guy you feel for because he had bounced back so well. So it sucks to see St. Just. I'm not surprised. We called it last episode, like, oh, this might be the game. Just hang nails.
Quick. It was quick this time. It was like within the first 20 minutes.
It was yeah. He got it over with. He didn't drag it out. He got it over with real quick. So hopefully we don't know what his injury exactly is. We know Bragança's is the torn ACL in his other knee this time. But yeah, St. Just, there's no update, so it's just kind of it's that time for St. Just.
With him when he goes out with the muscle, you can safely assume at least 4 weeks, sometimes more.
He's probably done till like April at least. I would say he's probably
maybe we'll get him back for a cup semi if we're there.
Yeah. I think for March though, like you can pretty much write that off. Like he's cooked for March.
I'll
be happy to see him in April, which is brutal. There's not much about this game as today. Arouca did well. Like they pushed.
They played well. They played well. They created chances. Whatchamacallit? They honestly, like the XGs are exactly equal, 2.1 to 2.1.
Yeah,
I feel like
a draw is a fair result.
It almost felt like they had the better chances, and we were kind of fortunate to get out of here 2-2. We had a big chance right at the end, and Gyökeres, I cannot believe he missed that header right at the end.
Oh man.
But at the same time, I literally cannot believe that Jason missed the 1-on-1 right at the end, bro.
Yeah.
Completely wide open, right in front of the net. He's 4 yards out. He takes a touch and
And
just
it's
puts it
gone.
right into Rui Silva.
He just gives it right
Anywhere
to him.
else, literally anywhere else, goal.
Like literally, all you had to do was do anything else except for what you
I
did.
could not believe that. I was like
Oh
hoping he was offside. He was not, dude.
no,
Just wide open.
He was wide open onside. It would have counted.
So I mean, I thought that was 3-2 for sure. And after that, I was like, okay, just end this game. We'll take a 2-2.
We'll take
It's horrible. It's horrible result. I mean,
we don't deserve. We didn't deserve a win either. Like
the biggest scraped out a bullshit win earlier in the day, so it's like we already know that they've closed the gap on us at least
a couple points. Yeah, yeah. It's still it's a 1 game. Man, how life comes at you fast, eh? Like what, 2 weeks ago we were like, all right, we're like 6, 7, 8 points up. All right, we're feeling
6-2 in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it feels like Christmas again. Like that's what it feels like. We've done this before, so the upturn should be any time now. The only benefit for this team is the fact that they will get some extended rest, as Adam has pointed out in the comments. Actually, they'll get some added rest because they won't have those midweek Champions League games. So they'll have a little bit more time in between.
You'd say it hasn't helped, I guess, up until this point. But,
yeah, I mean, especially because they crashed out.
There's been a lot of things that haven't helped up until this point.
Well, they crashed out of Champions League to fall out of top 8, so you had to play those 2 extra games, which already not fun. Whereas had they been able to keep some semblance of momentum and maybe just squeak in the top 8, you probably don't have don't have 1 or 2 of the injuries that you have, because you've not had to play 2 extra games in a short period of time on quick turnaround. You would have had the last 2 midday games off, or midweek games off. So you would have just had your league and your domestic league games. So yeah, it's killer. But yeah, the bright side, I guess, is at least they will have some extended time to rest some guys. The games won't be coming quite as fast, quite as heavy anymore.
Got an international break coming up too,
and
in March. It's more towards the end of March. So
mashallah,
we're about a month out from it.
I've never been so happy to see an international break on the horizon as I have. Like
Portugal actually has some bigger games than normal, I suppose, right? Because it's a knockout game, right?
Game for the Nations League, but I expect them to go with a relatively safe. I don't expect any real surprises in the lineup.
Maybe Rui Silva will get called, as Adam kind of alluded to. He's third, fourth.
He's on the chart. Like he can get called as a
third. He's been in the squad before, and I mean, I think that
It wouldn't shock me if they call up Kanda.
Yeah,
I could see a Kanda call up.
Don't play him.
I don't know that he'll play.
Actually, we hope that he gets called up, right? So that if he doesn't have to go to U21, because he won't play.
Yeah. Trincao, I could see getting called up. I could also see him declining potentially because he's just so tired.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's one where I'm on the fence, and I assume Ignacio might get called up. Who knows?
If he's not hurt, we'll see as well.
Yeah, I assume if Ignacio's not hurt, by the time the call up happens, he'll probably go. I think the only ones, like him and Trincao, I'd be on the fence, but I think Kenda will go for sure. But yeah, I've never been so happy to see an international break coming up as I have now, because man, some of these boys just need some rest.
Yeah. What did you think of the penalty kick decision in favor of Arouca?
It was one of the decisions of all time.
Dude, I absolutely despise this decision.
The exact, almost identical play the week before doesn't get called.
It's so stupid to call wrestling fouls that do not directly impact
the play.
What are we doing, man? Are you going to call a pen on every corner kick because some guy's got his arms wrapped around at the back post and the ball gets headed out at the near post? No, it's insane.
No.
I feel like he's got Humeland on the yellow. Humeland's a little clumsy in the second half. Boom, he's gone.
Yeah.
It's just bro did us no favors. I'll be honest, and it's I wasn't even sure what they were looking at potentially at first.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what they were actually reviewing, and I'm like, oh, they're looking at like the wrestling back there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was assuming, was like, oh, they're looking at the
I thought there was maybe like a handball or like something like an elbow on the header, I wasn't even looking at like them back there.
Yeah, it wasn't like your first inclination wasn't, oh, they must have be looking at one of the wrestling matches. You're thinking, oh, maybe there was like a stray elbow.
And here's the thing,
or
like
something. Yeah.
Human definitely does like grab him and like kind of like twist him to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But at the moment when because there's like a header or like to the forward and the right of them. It's probably like 3 yards forward diagonally from them. And I don't remember if the Sporting player or the Arouca player wins the header, but the header actually goes out of Sporting's box. Like the ball doesn't come back towards Humeland or even the Sporting goal. The ball gets headed out. And at that moment when the ball is getting headed, Humeland and the guy are just sort of hugging at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't think hugging is a foul. It only becomes a foul when he it only becomes a potential offense when he rips him down, right? But by the time he actually rips him down, the ball is cleared out of the 18.
Yeah, it's gone.
Like, what are we doing? The more I thought about it after and rewatched it, how do you manufacture this into a penalty? It was crazy. And honestly, Humeland did have a shit game, and he was being a little dickhead out there for sure. And pissing off the ref and chirping in his ear every time. He is developing a rep in Portugal that he's like a rough house. And that was kind of always his rep a little bit, right? Kind of Palhinha kind of got the same treatment from the refs. And he has the armband, but he's been getting dissent yellows recently. It's just they don't respect him. They don't respect the way he plays.
No.
And recently, it's actually, I think he's on 4 yellows. So he was
close to his 5.
He was actually quite, and he was suspended in the Champions League, right?
Yeah.
And then he missed the first leg. Yeah. He played today. So he actually did a decent job in the first third of the season, not picking up bookings. But
last little bit.
But recently, bro, the refs are fucking onto him, dude, and it's so annoying. They're so prejudiced against him. I honestly can't believe it. And it's I don't know. It's like Gyökeres, they just fucking drag him down and no one calls anything.
No one calls shit on him anymore.
He plays rough. Okay, you still can't fucking do that. You can't grab 2 hands.
You're setting a bad precedent.
These specific players do not get different rules, man. You have to call the game.
You got to call the game the same for everybody. You can't call it differently for one dude or 2 dudes. You got to call it the same.
Yeah, just for me, it's becoming increasingly clear that he has a different criteria than other midfielders.
For sure.
And it's fucking annoying. And they will drop that yellow on him to suspend him probably at an inconvenient time.
We'll go through, when we go through predictions, we'll be able to see their next round of matches. Let me actually pull that up now since we're
I don't think the cup and the league have.
I don't believe so.
I think the League Cup does, right?
Yeah, I don't think the league and the cup necessarily carry over.
So I don't think he'll miss a cup knockout game, but he I guess he might. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah. So we got predictions. So for the Arouca game, Danny got a goal scorer. None of us got the game, not got the result. You got a goal scorer. I got both goal scorers, but not the result. You know how infuriating that is. Sam got nobody. So 2 points for me, 1 for you, and 1 for Danny. And then we move up to the Champions League game. Love the optimism, Sam, but just
Sam
not
went
quite
for
there. He went for
a poker.
Eduardo. He went for an Eduardo Quaresma poker, man.
He had a good game, but
yeah.
not that good.
I got a point because they drew. I've never been less happy about a point in my life.
Damn,
in this scenario. You didn't get any point. You predicted a loss.
If they just put that pen in, I would have got a point.
You would have got a point if the pen went in. And then Danny went for what would have been the most.
Or the Gio Reyna shot didn't hit the post. That was probably their second biggest chance.
Yeah. Danny went for what would have been the most gut-wrenching and sporting result, which is they win 3-1, but because they lost the first game 3-0, they lose the aggregate by 1 still. That would have been so gut-wrenching to watch. I would have been pissed. So standings are as follows. Sam at 39, nothing really changed for him. Danny at 41, you at 45. You're still clawing back a little bit. And then I'm at 63. Our next couple of games, we'll go through the next game for prediction.
This week didn't help anybody.
No, this was kind of a wash week. So they play Ovs. I've already put my prediction of 2-1 win with Conrad Harder just because I couldn't think of anybody else who was healthy. So Chris, who are you thinking the goals to score, or maybe not to even score? What are you feeling for against AVS football squad? Well, I might change that to 1. No, no, they'll concede 1 and they'll fight. I'll go 2-1. Play the odds.
They've had some mixed results lately. These guys, they obviously are pretty desperate for points.
They're gonna be fighting. They'll be fighting.
They don't have their legendary key. He hasn't been playing, right?
No, the GOAT is not playing.
Actually, he's back. He came back. He played their last game.
Did he? I don't know. I saw that he wasn't.
We might get an appearance from.
We could get goalied. Who knows?
We could get Guillermo Ochoa, who honestly is back. Yeah, that's crazy. So we might be catching Ochoa at the week. It's his first game back, so maybe they'll switch back. I don't know, but it'll be a tough game on the road. Gyökeres will be out there. He'll be, he'll be like.
I'm a bit more comfortable with him being out there for this game, knowing that
he got rest. He got Is the game on Sunday?
I think this might be a Sunday game. Let me double check my. Let me check my sources. Sunday. Yeah, it's Sunday at 1. Sunday at 1. I love a 1 o'clock game on a weekend.
East Coast NFL kickoff time.
I love I love a good 1 o'clock. These 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock starts. Anything
better on Saturday. The 3.
It's okay on a Saturday at 3 here and there, but a 1 o'clock game either day. I love that start. That's just a nice start time.
It's a bit of a trip, up north for the fans. So you get out of there. It'll be late, but not, ridiculously late. Yeah. It's a 6 kickoff, right? So you still get home late, right? You're getting home at 1 or 2 a.m. anyways.
Yeah, you're getting
but it's better than 5 a.m., I suppose, right? With
an
8:30 kickoff.
Better than an 8:30 kickoff. You're getting home the next day.
So yeah, it's tough to predict. I'm gonna say 2-1 win.
You're going 2-1 as well. All right. Who's your goal scorer or scorers?
I'm gonna go Gyökeres and Arouca.
Maxi. All right. That's where we stand on those predictions.
Go down. Look at the next 4 games.
Estoril. So they play Estoril, Casapia, which will be away if I'm not mistaken.
I'm guessing Estoril is probably a home game, right?
Yeah. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna go to Google and it'll show us better. So Sporting CP, and we can actually see it'll lay out exactly. So they have AVS away, they have a Taça de Portugal quarterfinal against Gil Vicente actually first. Away from
they don't even have the other game scheduled yet. Classic Portuguese League. Okay, but we still know if they're home or away. At least.
Yeah, Estoril at home, Casa Pia away, Famalicão at home, Estrela away, Braga at home, Santa Clara away.
The break fills in between Famalicão and Estrela.
Yeah, that's the gap. It's like a 2-week gap almost.
We got Estoril, Casa Pia, Famalicão.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is the remaining league schedule right here.
Mix.
Basically, it gets like these last 4 games, especially.
Boavista will need points.
Gil Vicente. Who knows? This is going to be a war.
Those 2 games before Moreirense and Santa Clara are not easy. Braga is not easy.
Yeah. I mean, Guimarães we know is not easy.
In theory,
Estoril, this is, if it's not already decided, this is the title decider right here. The Benfica game, probably, depending on where we
Gil Vicente, Aves, Estrela, even Estoril, like these are all teams that are kind of
they're tricky teams. They're not easy
for
games.
Points
There's no easy games.
It's not. Boavista is kind of in big trouble, and Farense is kind of in big trouble. But the thing is, Farense plays like good games. They just don't get any points.
Yeah.
And then that last spot is like there's a lot of teams that like could find themselves in.
Yeah, like if we go and look at like the standings now,
it depends on what your run of form is. But like
Boavista, Farense, and Aves, Estrela and Gil Vicente.
Who Aves been inconsistent as fuck. It's like all the way up until 10th, bro. I don't think you're safe at this point.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like I think especially from here all the way up to here, you still have to play Gil Vicente, Estrela, you have Aves, and you have Boavista. You have 4 of those teams that are going to be probably still fighting for a lot of points, right? Like that's the thing. You're playing the teams that are going to be desperate, especially at that.
They're going to have a lot of games. The thing is like when there's like a bulk of teams like that, all like in the mix, like they will play each other a bunch. So like they'll get direct points against each other, and it will start to thin it out a little bit, but it could break anyway at this point, depending on
it's going to be too close.
Who gets cold at the wrong time.
That's just, or who gets hot at the right time, who gets cold.
Or who gets out of the right time and just like rips off 9 points in fucking 4 weeks, and you just
who's just like, okay, we drew 5 games in a row, but the other teams lost 3 and drew 2.
Yeah, that Boavista
so 3 points on them.
They've brought in all these new signings, dude.
They're cooking up a dish never before seen.
What do they have to get? How many points back are they? They are.
Oh, let me pull that back up.
They're 8 points from safety.
Yeah, they're.
Can they do it? The Great Escape.
The Great Escape again. Who, in God's name, knows? Yeah, that's the thing. They're going to be playing all these teams that are going to be probably very desperate, right? Like that's the thing. Like they're playing all these teams that are going to be
it's just
fired up.
It's just like a struggle to score goals right now. To carve out chances, it's just difficult. It just feels like you have to keep churning out every single result. And with like no margin for error, here's the thing, like I think Benfica will drop some more points.
Yeah.
Because they have, and like even this weekend could have been a 0-0 draw. Or 1-1. So like I don't think we need to be perfect, but
they don't need to be perfect, but they're probably gonna need a little bit of help.
Yeah.
I think at this point, I think if it was like a 5-point gap or a 4-point gap, you'd feel a bit more comfortable. But it's 2. It's a 1-game swing. Yes, they hold the tiebreakers right now because of the head-to-heads and goals, but you'd rather it not come down to that. That's the thing.
They had to have the head-to-head.
For now, they have head-to-head. Who knows?
Could change.
It could change, but like I said, that second last game against Benfica, it might be it's probably going to end up being the title decider, right? Like it's probably going to be it. And what do you do? It's just it's not a great position to necessarily be in right now. Like when you look at the run of games they're going to have. The only saving grace for them is, yes, they are out of Europe, and that sucks. It always sucks because they suck in Europe. but at least they're going to get a little bit more of a break in between games. Whereas Benfica's still in there. They're going to still have extra games. They got 2 more extra games they're going to have to play in Europe, tough games. So they're,
maybe they'll even advance.
Maybe they'll even advance, but who knows? Exactly. Who knows, right? Like, you kind of hope they advance low because it's like, tire yourselves out. Get an injury,
Mm-hmm.
Better you than us. As bad as that sounds, I don't wish for anybody to get hurt, but it's like when you play more games, that's a risky
bunch
run.
of injuries in their squad as well.
They've got a few as well.
That's why I don't think they're just gonna go on this perfect run to close it out. Obviously, they could, but
yeah,
I think we'll still have a little bit of margin for error, but we are definitely wasting a lot of speed.
There's the margin for error is very slim.
It's thinning. It's thinning in real time.
It's very thin. It's gone very thin, very quick. God, if they had been able to hold out against Porto even without all the shenanigans, you gotta want, like, man.
Yeah.
It would have been.
Point where I was like, you know what? It's all right. But in hindsight, bro, I would have loved those 2 points, man.
Yeah, now looking back, I'm like, I would have liked that extra 2
But at the same time, it's like, bro, you're on under fucking onslaught for 38 minutes. I mean, do we really deserve to get out of there?
Like, they were lucky to get out of there with a draw. Like, they were lucky that's all they got.
So we kind of did deserve it, but it would have been cool if
it would have been luckier if they did do that. They won. Oh gosh, yeah, that stinks. So, what else we got, Chris? There's not really been anything news and notes worthy.
There's a couple random pieces. I was just scrolling through our Twitter account, just seeing stuff that we tweeted out over the in between now.
There's not been a ton.
Something that is kind of funny is that, do you remember that Union de Leiria winger we nearly signed in January?
Oh yeah, the guy who I think I said this is our latest money laundering.
Yeah, 50% for 2.5 million. It's a random guy. He's now been frozen out of the squad by Silas. So I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna play at the end until the end of the season there.
We're really gonna.
I mean, here's the thing: Mateus Reis was in a similar situation when we signed him, frozen out for the last 6 months of his contract, just didn't play.
Yeah. Look at him now.
We still brought him in, and he did contribute, but I don't know if Allison from Union Leiria
is
gonna have the same. He's actually not even an Union Leiria player. He's on loan from a Brazilian club, so maybe he'll even get his loan terminated and then go train back in Brazil for a couple months, bro.
Do you know who his parent club is, or is it someone we've never heard of?
It's a kind of a more random team. It's not one of the bigger ones.
It's not one of the ones you would have heard of. Okay, got it. Good to know. Because I wouldn't have.
I think. We got a big Verandas interview Friday.
Yes, that's right. We got a big one coming up.
He doesn't do these too often. Every 6 months at best. I can't even remember the last time he did one like.
You know what I can't wait for? I can't wait to watch.
They are going to be like, why didn't you send a communication about Pinto Costa?
Huh? Oh, it's gonna be question 2. Yeah,
that's gonna be the only thing they ask.
I want to speak on that in a minute, but I want to tell my joke first. Okay. I can't wait to, when the interview is all said and done, to tune into Creo de Minya, because those headline writers are always in their fucking bag, man.
Yeah, he'll have
they got
jokes.
They got headline. Those guys are in their bag.
Jokers over there, man.
They are clowning. Dude, clowning fools.
Also, just a quick side note about Creo de Minya. I love how they always flex their viewership ratings as if it's news. I'm like, dude, you don't really see that from news channels where we beat RTP by this much.
Cool.
I mean, good for you, lads, but I don't really see how that's.
I love it because Creo de Minya in
they're
Canada,
always flexing how many months straight they have the viewership ratings.
I love it because Creo de Minya in Canada has the league games.
Is it a different broadcast than the one in Portugal?
It's almost identical. Okay, it's the Sport TV feed.
So they have their own special Canadian hosts. It's
they don't know they don't. It's just commercials at halftime, their own stuff. But the feed itself,
I got you,
is pretty much just the Sport TV feed, but it's not got the sport. It's like how when RTP does a game,
Yeah.
It's like the general like league.
Yeah.
feed.
Sometimes you can even see that their logo is just like overlaid on top. It's like they didn't
Yeah,
even
they don't
bother
have. Yeah, they don't have that
cropping
issue.
out the other one.
Thankfully.
They just put it
Yeah,
on
they
top.
don't have that issue. Thankfully, there's no like Sportive logo popping up like in the corner or anything. But yeah, they have the games for at least another year or two in Canada, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, at
So
least
it's
they
so
got
funny.
him, bro. And we
Like
got
$4. It's like $4 a month.
the
It's so
problem with
cheap.
at least for Gold TV, English for
Yeah,
me is like it's just like it's only through very specific cable packages that
yeah.
I just
Or you
don't
have to pay for like the streaming.
I
Yo,
just don't have right now.
for our, like my dad pays for it like through our cable like TV provider.
Yeah.
It's only $4 a month for the channel.
Oh, bro, that's a great rate.
No,
In
it's a
Portugal,
sick
bro, it's like
deal.
fucking 30 euros a month.
You know, so they show all the games. You don't even need the Benfica to subscribe to Benfica TV because they show the Benfica home games,
Oh my, wow,
which is
bro.
lit.
Dude,
Yeah, so
whoever
you know how much
negotiated
money
that contract was
you
balling
see?
out, bro.
They were killing it. Yeah, so you get like 4 or 5 games a week. You get like the big 3 and like 2
Man,
or 3 other. You get like half the games.
it would actually be great if they got something like that in the States.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
they just
I
don't.
remember when I was younger. This is a whole sidebar, but we're getting into it now. I remember when I was younger, like when Seek had the games. Like Seek used to
Yeah,
have all the
yeah,
games. So whatever like affiliate Seek had in like New Jersey or Toronto, because they just basically are a Seek feed, but they also have like their own local programming.
yeah.
They would just show the games. So
Yeah,
like if you had like the Seek feed from Toronto or New Jersey, you were getting like 4 or 5 games like a week too. Like it was the same kind of thing. So it
yeah.
was hilarious. And I'm like, man, like I miss those days. But yeah, Sam TV for that. But yeah, my dad loves to watch the like the Liga de Oro or whatever, like the post game, like the news shows. He's like, some of this stuff is so funny. Like there's the one dude with like he's just got like the deepest voice.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, there's your boy. That's the guy. Don't get him fired up now. And they have, I think it's Otavio Machado or something. He used to work for Sporting is on there too. And I'm like, man, like they got some interesting characters. They got some characters on that show. They started arguing, and my mom's like, "What are they arguing about?" I'm like, they're just talking. They're just talking. They're not even mad. They're just chatting. He asked him how his day was. Like, nothing crazy. Yeah, sidebar story for that. I forget what I was gonna ask.
Something about Pinto Costa.
Oh yeah, Pete the Costa. So yeah, because you mentioned the Varandas interview coming up, and that's absolutely going to be something that he will probably be asked. It would not shock me. And he'll probably give a non-answer, but honestly, the answer he should give.
Or he'll give a rollover answer, like, "Oh my god, I love him so much, and he was so awesome, and we had such a good relationship." Or maybe he'll hold firm and be like, I'm sorry for his family for sure, but like,
sorry for the loss, but
you didn't exactly do me.
Well, also, he made a point.
Years.
Pinto Costa also made a point of, I don't want anyone from Sporting's administration or Benfica's administration at my funeral or anything.
Oh yeah, he did.
So I mean, if I'm Frederic Brandes, I'm like, well, he said fuck me, so I'm saying fuck him.
Yeah, it's fine, man.
That was the thing. Like everybody lost.
These clubs don't.
Like, that's just it. Like
here's the thing:
he's both ways.
He's also not the current president. I do think it'd be a little bit different if he was the active.
If he was like the sitting president, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what are they gonna give us well wishes anytime like a club legend dies every single time? Like, I mean,
well, like Pinto Costa also, I think, said he didn't want anybody from the current Porto administration and certain players not there. Like he was that petty.
Bro,
bro was petty. I respect being a hater to the end. Like I understand, I respect it, but yeah, for everybody who's like up in a tizzy about Sporting and Benfica, I'm gonna defend Benfica here for the first time ever, for not like sending a condolence or something. He torched both current administrations on the way out, so like you can't sit there and be like, hey, fuck you, and then when I can't sit there and go to Chris and say, hey, fuck you, Chris, and then if he goes turn to me, goes, hey, fuck you, Richard, I can't go, whoa, where did that come from? That's what this is. That's basically like, he said, screw you. Sporting and Benfica said, okay, fine, screw you back. And everybody lost their minds. Like, how dare you take that stance? How dare you stick up for yourself? So yeah, no, I have no issues with either of them not necessarily giving condolences because, one, he said, screw you. So like, I wouldn't be inclined. He said he doesn't want you at the funeral or any of the memorial stuff. And 3, he was a corrupt asshole anyways. And so much more has been coming out since he did not get reelected about like the state of the finances and like the shenanigans they would pull to like launder money,
the robbery that was occurring.
Like so much more has come out where I'm like, no, I don't want to give condolence. Like breaking news, it's like breaking news. The worst person you know just made a great point. No, breaking news, the worst person you know is in fact the worst person you know. Like crazy. Like that's what the breaking news. The worst person you know is in fact worse than you thought. Like,
Yeah,
that's what this is. So I don't like condolences to him, condolences to the family.
It's crazy that he was
friends and
trying
stuff,
to
but
run
yeah,
again for another term when he was pretty
knowing he
clearly
was
in such bad health. Like,
knowing he was in
he
poor health.
kept going to the hospital like all the time, and even like in the past like months, he's been in and out of the hospital. He's like clearly not. I mean,
Clearly not
he's like
well.
88, right? Like,
Well, even before the last election, like I remember seeing, I forget if it was on the news or like watching a game or something. Went to my dad, man, like I don't know about you, but Pete the Costa looks like not well. This
no,
was
he's
before we
great.
knew he was. This was before he was. We knew like he wasn't well. I was
Yeah,
like, man, like he looks like in rough shape. Like he does not look healthy. Like I don't like he just looked like he aged like 5 years, like speed running or something. I don't know. Where I was like, man. And then when I found out he was running for the re-election, I'm like, man, like, I don't, dude, like just give it up. And then you find out, oh yeah, he was very
Batista
ill.
Nation pretty clearly spoke. I would say
That they were
ready
done
to
with them.
move
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, very handedly not reelected. We thought it would be a lot closer. Like we came on this show, we went on other shows even, and we're like, I expected to probably be pretty close. Like
Ended
that
up
would
looking
shock
like
me.
a fucking sporting election result, you know?
Yeah, some of the recent ones, anyways. Yeah, like it was not close at all, and we were like, wow, like that is very surprising. Just how not even that he lost. I don't think it was a huge surprise that he didn't get reelected. I think it was just we thought it would be like,
Yeah,
oh, it's
you
probably gonna
got
be close.
maybe like 60-40, something like that at best,
Even
right?
like 55-45
Yeah,
or something like that.
you
I'm
got
thinking like, man,
wrecked,
like
bro.
yeah, like we expected it to be like, you know, because there's gonna be people who are obviously like gonna be like, no, that Pete the Kosh their guy, and I get that.
Yeah, I mean, and there was those people. There just wasn't that many of them, and it was
Which
mostly
there
like
wasn't as
super
many. There
annoying.
wasn't as many as we thought. I guess is what I'm trying
Yeah,
to say.
the
Yeah,
average Celsius definitely did not break that way
yeah,
in his favor. The average Celsius broke for
broke
Village Buzz.
for
Yeah,
Village Bosch, which
yeah.
is, I mean, sometimes it's credit to them. Like sometimes you gotta recognize when it's time for a change too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is what it is. So, but yeah, roundabout way of saying make her relax on the Pinto Costa stuff. It's not that deep at the end of the day.
Yeah, that
Like
was like
condolences to his family,
3 straight
condolences to
days.
anyone who's going through it and who was a big fan. You know, hearts out to you, but doesn't affect me.
Yeah,
Just like I wouldn't expect if a sporting president died, especially one who maybe you weren't a fan of. I
it
would hope
wouldn't
it
be
wouldn't
like
really affect
something I
you.
was even like thinking about, right? Like a sporting legend dies or whatever. I'm like, what am I thinking about? What did Porto say? Huh?
Well,
What did Benfica say? I don't give a
didn't
fuck,
I
bro.
don't necessarily like when I think when Manuel Fernandes died, like we did come on the show. I think we did come on
Did
to show
they
like it
give
was not.
statements for that?
They did, and they
They
actually
did.
sent and they did send stuff to sport like a wreath or flowers or something.
Like I imagine there'll be like a minute of silence, you know, and they'll give him
Yeah,
his respect at the weekend, right? I'm guessing,
yeah.
right?
But yeah, like when Manuel Fernandes died, like they did send something and they made like a statement like on Twitter or whatever or X or whatever, and we were like, oh, like that was very nice of them. Like it was nice to see for a player. So I understand where some people come from that, but he was defiant until the end and was like he went out fighting,
Guns blazing.
guns a blazing. He went out his way, man. Like I'm not gonna sit here and argue that we should be going, oh, we're gonna miss this guy. I'm like, no,
Yeah, it's fine. It
he
is
was
what
a
it is, you
shithead.
know? Yeah.
He was
And
a
like
shithead.
his cycle kind of had already come to an end, right? As far as
Yeah.
like it affects us in the sports world, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, you know, it is it is what it is.
Yeah. I'm sure he was watching the Porto game this weekend, and I'm sure he was looking up at it
He was
happily.
he was like, you know how they like scored on a two-hand push to the back and then a header?
Yeah.
He his like he like shone a light in the referee and the VAR's eyes and like blinded them from like seeing the
he had
two-handed
one
push.
last trick up his sleeve from the life beyond.
One last robbery.
He had
one
one
last
last
robbery
trick up
for the
his
big
sleeve.
man.
He had one last trick up his sleeve from the life beyond.
Yeah.
Or whatever. We shouldn't make light of people dying at the end of the day. It's been kind of brutal.
But Porto did honestly
Get away with one.
very fortunate. VAR did not help us, and it definitely gave them a little flavor. So
Definitely.
But the thing is
them.
I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about our
Benfica
rivals. Yeah.
I'm worried about Benfica, and I'm worried about us.
Yeah.
Portugal still has a lot they need to do themselves, and a lot that they need to happen to get back into the conversation for that. So we'll see. Any modalidade news? I didn't really see much this week.
There was a couple games at the weekend, not much.
Yeah, futsal won today, if I'm not mistaken.
They won today? Okay, they won at the weekend as well. Huge win, like 8-1, I think it was.
Yeah, they were winning today. I don't know what the final score was.
Basketball won as well with I think they scored over 100, so big win.
Oh, wow.
Women's footy won against Marítimo 3-0, and they advanced to the quarterfinal of the Taça de Portugal. So last week they made it to the semi of the Taça de Liga, and now
their Taça de Liga is still going. That's right.
Yeah, so they're in the
what are they? They're not campeões de inverno. What are they champions of?
Spring.
You're the spring. You're just the spring champions before the other spring.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So they're in the final four of that, and then I guess they're in the last 8 of the cup now. So still going,
Nice.
Still 6 points behind Benfica at the league,
Mm-hmm.
but still going on 3 fronts. I actually didn't even realize that there was a futsal game today. So
they were. I saw it like late in the afternoon. Let me actually find out what
they won 7-3, and they are into the semifinals of the League Cup. So it seems like we're going through a little cup action in the modalidades world.
Okay.
So it's not. I guess it's not a campeón de inverno in futsal either. I mean, I guess right. It's still technically winter until March 21, right?
Wow.
If you wanna get technical with it, right?
I don't know. If you're in Canada, winter sometimes lasts till like May. Bro, yeah. I remember sitting there in like April 27th one year or something crazy, and it was just snowing on the ground still. And I'm like, man, this is and like I was in school, and we had people like international students who had like never really seen snow. They're like, man, what the hell? When does winter end? I'm like, bro, I don't know. He's like, what do you mean you don't know? You live here. You should know. I'm like,
it changes.
That's the beautiful thing. No one ever really knows. We just kind of hope.
Yeah.
Bro,
we just hope that this is the last snow.
Like it's.
I mean,
you're out wearing shorts one day, and then you're in a toque and a winter jacket.
I low-key feel a little Canadian recently because I'm like, I hope I've seen the last snow of the year. But guess what's on the forecast tomorrow?
Yeah,
a little inch of snow, but it's not. It doesn't ever accumulate. It's only like an inch or two, and then it's slowly.
Ours accumulates.
Do you have snow on the ground right now?
We got 40 centimeters of snow over the weekend. Over like a 2-day span.
You're built up then.
Oh, brother, it is built up galore.
Damn, dude.
We got 40 centimeters of snow in 2 days. You know how much snow that is in inches? I don't know. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of inches.
Like at least like 10, right?
Yeah, it's at least close to a foot.
15, yeah, it's a little bit more than a foot.
It's almost a foot and a half.
A foot and change, yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot. We got dumped on.
So that was over 2 days. It wasn't all at the same time, but it was just like for like 24 hours straight.
It was like Saturday morning to like Sunday, like late Sunday night, basically. So almost a full 2-day dump of snow.
Yeah, that must have been fun to shovel out of.
I was at my girlfriend's, and like her dad's got because they live kind of.
You're also really not. You're not traveling anywhere. You're not.
No. I traveled. So I traveled to her house. You're just learning about my. Y'all are gonna learn about my life today, but yeah, I traveled to her place. Once you get there,
you're like, all right, I guess I'm here for the next while.
Well, I traveled to her place on Friday after like I was done work, and there was no snow like coming. Like there was snow on the ground, but there was no like snow on my drive there, which is about an hour. Saturday is when we started getting the snow. Sunday we got snow. Thankfully, Monday was a holiday. It was so we had a long weekend. So I was like, yeah, even if I wanted to go home Sunday, like I couldn't.
Yeah.
Because there was just too much. Like I wouldn't, even if I could leave, I'm like, I don't trust those country roads. Like, to be plowed.
With over a foot of half of snow. Yeah.
That's been dumped on. I'm like, I don't trust that they will have been plowed. So no, did not venture out until like Monday morning at like 10 or 11 a.m. when I knew stuff had been plowed.
Tough.
It was fine. I wasn't overly beat up at it. But yeah, her dad, like, she lives with her parents. So like, yeah, we were at her parents' house for the weekend. And yeah, they've got like a big driveway. So he's got like the big snow blower plow thing to like just rip through that quick. Thankfully.
Sometimes when there's like so much, it like keeps getting clogged and it's like so fucking frustrating.
Oh man, it's bad. It's
bad. North life, bro. For you.
That's what you got. And I was talking to people on the weekend. They're like, I want to move to Canada. I'm like, you need to spend a winter here before you make that choice.
I'm like, I say that about Buffalo, because it's like relatively affordable, at least compared to down here.
Yeah.
And then I see how much snow they get, and I'm like, bro, what if I was there? Like, what would I be doing?
What would I do?
What would I be doing right now?
You'd be one of the like 200 volunteers that goes to the Bills game twice a year to go shovel out the stadium.
Yeah.
Get eating hot dogs and soda. Yeah. I don't think there's any other news or notes. We're just kind of devolving into stories of our lives now. So
there's also Record did have a report that St. Just is like done.
Done?
As in like not his injury is not done, but like Reborge doesn't rate him.
Oh, like this was kind of his last.
Yeah.
Straw.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that. I was kind of.
I mean, I don't know. It's also not confirmed in any way, or it's not like for sure, but like. That was a report on like Monday, I think.
We'll see. Record's been very iffy with their.
Yeah.
No one really
fully
has
trust
anything.
that, especially like if there's like nobody and he happens to be healthy.
Like you're not going to play him. Like you kind of have to.
He kind of just has to play who's healthy at this point. In some,
you just got to play. You just got to play warm bodies.
Yeah.
Warm bodies that are able.
Some of the decisions are just getting made for him, unfortunately.
Yep. Any other news before we wrap up, Chris?
Nah, not really.
Nothing. All right.
Stay tuned for that interview, and
we'll be talking about.
We'll be sweating out another game at the weekend, I imagine.
Yeah, we'll be breaking down that game next week. The Oz game will also probably go through whatever interesting tidbits which we're sure to come out of the Varandas interview. For the time being, make sure you follow us.
Whoa, that was not the right one.
That's okay. Follow us. Follow Chris on X.
That's the old one.
There. Yeah, that's all good. Follow myself as well on X. Follow Sam and Danny as well. Make sure you give them that you couldn't be here today, as we said. Most importantly, follow us AT Alvalade on X. That's where you find most of our news and notes. We just kind of retweet or aggregate any news that comes across from any of the big papers and just say, hey, this is what Record or whoever is reporting now. Don't take what we say as gospel.
we usually put the source as well.
Yeah, we're pretty good at the sources.
Translate it, source it, boom.
Yeah, we give our sources, so we're not insiders. Not yet, but maybe.
On occasion,
Sam has some sources.
On occasion, Sam's got some sources.
Sam's with sources allegedly.
Yeah,
he's a secretive. He's a secretive Sam. That boy.
Yeah.
He won't divulge. Meanwhile, make sure you like, share, subscribe if you're new around here, or if you aren't new around here but you're not liking or subscribing. What the hell are you waiting for? You should be. Get smarten up. We'll be back next week, probably similar time, similar day. For now, thank you for watching. Peace and viva sporting.